Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we are going to be deploying a highly available two-tier website on AWS. This video is aimed at anyone preparing for the AWS certification or someone who has passed the certification and wants to understand how all the resources on AWS works. So without taking much of our time, I will briefly explain the reference architecture on my screen and then we'll dive into the tutorial. As you can see on my screen, we have the reference architecture that shows all the resources we are using for this tutorial to deploy our website. So the resources we are going to use include VPC, NAT gateway, security group, application load balancer, EC2 instance, S3 bucket, AMI, web application firewall. We're going to use IAM policy as well. And at the end of this video, you should have a good understanding on how to deploy this particular website on your AWS account as well. And in the reference architecture, we have the VPC with the CIDR 10.0.0.0/16. And in this VPC, we have two availability zones, US East 1A and US East 1B. So inside US East 1A, we have one public and one private subnet. And as well, we have the same thing in US East 1B. And US East 1A, we have the subnet, that's the setup server, in which we are going to use to SSH into. We are going to SSH into and do all our installations. And after successful installations, and we've confirmed that our script is working, we are going to create an AMI of the setup server and use it as in our auto-scaling group. The NAT gateway is there to give the internet access to the resources in the private subnet. The application load balancer is there to route traffic to our instances. The web application firewall is there to help our application protected from malicious attack. We are going to use the S3 bucket to store our web files. We are going to deploy our machine. Since we already have a brief explanation of what the resources is going to be, so let's dive into the tutorial and see you on my AWS console. So we're already on my AWS console. So the first thing we're going to do is to create our VPC. So in the search panel over here, you're going to type in VPC and you click on VPC. And it's going to take you to the VPC dashboard. And on the VPC dashboard, you can create the VPC from this place or click on the VPC here. And on the right hand side here, you are going to click on create VPC. So for this tutorial, we are going to name my VPC YT demo tutorial. YT demo tutorial VPC. So we'll scroll down. We'll leave the IPv4 CIDR block to be IPv4 CIDR manual input, and we type in 10.0.0.0/16. As I told you earlier, this is the CIDR block size we are going to be using, which is 10.0.0.0/16. And after doing that, we scroll down, we leave everything as default, we click on create VPC. So after creating our VPC, the next thing we are going to do is click on this action button on the right hand side and scroll down to the edit VPC setting. Click on edit VPC setting, and on this place we are going to enable DNS hostname. So we mark this and we'll click on save. Since we've completed creating our VPC, the next thing we are going to do is to create our internet gateway. So on the left hand side pane here, we are going to click internet gateway. So we're on the internet gateway dashboard on itself. So at the right top right hand here, at the top right hand here, we are going to click on create internet gateway. So we are going to give our internet gateway YT demo IGW, which stands for internet gateway. So after doing that, we click on create internet gateway. After creating our internet gateway, the next thing we are going to do is to attach the internet gateway to the VPC. So we'll move on to the action at the upper right here. We click on it and we click on attach to VPC. So in this place, we are going to choose our VPC, which it is YT demo VPC. So we click on attach internet gateway. So since we've attached our internet gateway, the next thing we are going to do is to create our public subnet. So we'll move to the left hand side there and we'll click on subnet. And in this place, you can see I have a lot of subnets. So for easy access and view, I'll actually filter with the VPC we just created, which it is YT demo VPC. So we'll click on it. And you can see we don't have any subnet in this VPC. So at the right side here, we are going to click create subnet. So on this place, we are going to click on the YT demo VPC we created earlier. We click on it and it's going to bring us this subset setting. So for this tutorial, we're going to give our first subnet YT demo public subnet AZ1, because we're going to have this in the first availability zone, which is US East 1A. So availability zone, we are going to click US East North Virginia, US East 1A. So the IPv4 side is okay, and this place we are going to give our subnet the IPv4 of 10 CIDR block of 10.0.0.0/24. So we add new subnet, and this I will just copy the name here and change it to public subnet AZ2. So I scroll down and it's going to give YT demo public subnet AZ2, and the availability zone will be US East 1B, and the IPv4 subnet CIDR block will be 10.0.0.1.0/24. We are going to do this because we don't want our IPv4 to overlap with each other, because if they both overlap with each other, we're not going to be able to move on with the tutorial. So make sure you do this as well. So we are going to create the subnet. So you can see creating subnet 1 and creating subnet 2, and if we filter again with our YT, you can see in this place we have two subnets. So after creating these two subnets, the next thing we are going to do is go to the route tables and create a route table for it. So on this left hand side, we are going to click on route tables, and we are going to create route table, and this one we are going to give YT demo public route table. So we are going to choose the VPC, which is YT demo VPC, and we'll click on create route table. Since we've created our route table, the next thing we are going to do is to allow internet access through the route table, and in this place we are going to edit it in this place, and we are going to add our internet gateway, which is going to be from anywhere. We are going to choose our internet gateway, and we click on internet gateway, and we click on save changes. So after doing this, we are going to associate our public subnet to this. We are going to click on subnet associations, and you can see we have subnet without explicit association, which are the two public subnets we created earlier. And we are going to, in this place, we are going to click edit subnets section. We are going to add the two public subnets we created earlier, which is this, and we click on save association. So in this case, after doing this, our subnet has internet access, our public subnet has internet access, like that. So the next thing we are going to do is go back to our subnet, and we are going to click on the first subnet, go to actions, and we are going to edit subnet settings. And on the subnet settings, we are going to enable auto IPv4 address, enable auto assign IPv4 address, and we'll go down. We're going to leave everything as default, and we'll click on save. So we'll do that for the second subnet as well. We unmark this and we'll mark this, and we'll go to actions again, and we'll click on edit subnet settings. And on this page again, we enable auto assign public IPv4 address. We'll scroll down, we'll leave all the settings as default, and we'll click on save. So since we've done that, the next thing we are going to do now is to create our private subnet. So we'll come back to this place. We select the VPC, which is YT demo VPC. We are going to give it YT demo private subnet AZ1. And for the availability zone, we are going to choose US East 1A as well. If you could remember, on our reference architecture, we have one private subnet and one public subnet in US East 1A, and we have the same thing in US East 1B as well. So for this, we are going to choose another IPv4 CIDR block that will not overlap with the ones we've created. So we're going to use 10.0.2.0/24. So I will just copy the name of this and add a new subnet, which will be the second subnet, which will be it will be YT demo private subnet AZ2. And let me change the name of the first one as well, which will be YT. And we're going to have this in the US East 1B as well, and we're going to give it IPv4 subnet CIDR block of 10.0.0.3.0/24. and since everything is correct like that, we move on and we click on create subnet. So our private subnet is already being created like that. And for this, we are not going to enable IPv4 auto assign IPv4 because this one will be our private subnet, and we want it to have it a private CIDR, we want to have it a private, and we want the subnets to have private IPs. So we're not going to do that. So the next we're going to do is to create another route table. So we are going to create a route table for this. But before we go to the route table, let's create the NAT gateway, which is going to give our private subnet access to the internet as well. So let's go to NAT gateway. So on this NAT gateway, we're going to create NAT gateway. So I'm going to give it YT demo NGW, which stands for NAT gateway. We're going to select the subnet we want it to be. So we are going to have it in the public subnet AZ1. We are going to have the second. We are going to have it in the public subnet, which is for our YT demo, which is our YT demo public subnet, YT demo public subnet AZ1. We are going to don't make that mistake. So the connectivity type will be public, and we're going to allocate elastic IP. We are going to create the NAT gateway, and we are going to create the second one as well. So let's create the second one, create NAT gateway. That will be YT demo NAT gateway 2. That will be let's use 2. So we subnet, we choose the YT demo public subnet AZ2 as well. We leave the connectivity connectivity type to public. We are going to allocate elastic IP as well. We'll click on create subnet, create NAT gateway rather. And after creating our NAT gateway, we can go back to our route table and create our route tables. And the reason we are doing this is to isolate our availability zone. So if one availability the reason why we are doing this is to separate our availability zones. So if one availability zones go down, we are going to have the second availability zone up running, and it's going to let our hours go. Probably the users interacting with our website still have access to it. So that's why we are creating two NAT gateways. So we are going to create two route tables as well. So the first one will be YT demo private route table AZ1. We'll select VPC, which is YT demo VPC. We created it there. We're going to click on create route table. So after creating the route table, we're going to create the second one as well. So just click on this again. Click the second one and type in YT demo route, YT demo private route table AZ2. We'll select the VPC, which is YT demo VPC, and click on create route table. So after creating the route table, we're going to explicitly attach our private subnets to the route tables we just created. So the first thing I'm going to do is to edit routes. So if you remember, I told the NAT gateway is going to allow our resources in the private subnet to have access to the internet. So the first thing you're going to do is add routes, which will be, the first one is 0.0, which will be from everywhere. We're going to select the first NAT gateway we created, which is, okay, let me confirm this route table we just clicked on. So for the first one is this. We're going to go to YT demo private route table is 1. So on the route, we're going to edit the route. So the destination will be from anywhere. We'll select the first, which is YouTube demo NAT gateway, which is the first one we created. We're going to click on save changes and go to subnet association. We're going to add our private subnet AZ1 to it. So that will be YT demo private subnet AZ1. We click on and we'll save association. So the first one is done. So we'll click on route tables and associate the second private subnet to it, which is this. We'll mark the first one and go to routes. We'll click on edit routes. Destination will be from anywhere from the internet. We're going to associate the second NAT gateway we created, which is this YT demo NAT gateway 2. So we are going to save changes. So after doing that, we'll look on subnet association, click on edit subnet, and we'll see the YT demo private subnet AZ2, and click on save changes as well. So after doing that, we've successfully created our VPC and we've allowed internet access to all our resources in the VPC. So whenever we create any resources in the private subnet or in the public subnet, if they need anything to do on the internet, they'll be able to access the internet. So the next thing we are going to do on this video is to create the security groups that we are going to use for our resources in the subnet. So let's go to the security groups. So before creating the security groups, I will need to explain to you or give you a brief explanation on how the traffic will flow from the website into our VPC. So let's go to the reference architecture I created. So this is the VPC, And for the security groups, we have our application load balancer to be the first resources. We have our application load balancer to be the first resources that will be in contact when the user tries to access our application. So the application load balancer, we have a traffic port, we have a security group with a traffic port on HTTP traffic on port 80 and HTTPS on port 443, and the source will be from anywhere on the internet. And the EC2 instance which will be the resources in our private subnet. We have a traffic port, HTTP traffic from port 80 and HTTPS on port 443, and the traffic source will be from the application load balancer security groups. And the SSH security group, we have a traffic port from SSH traffic from port 222, and traffic will be from our IP, because I will be the one to SSH into the setup server, in which are going to test our script to see it is working and deploy the website on the setup server. And when the setup server is fully functional and we are sure that the deployment is successful, we are going to create an AMI in which we are going to use in the auto scaling group when we actually need our application to actually scale on itself. So that is the brief explanation of the security group. So let's go back to the console and create the security groups as I mentioned. So we are back in the security group console on AWS. So let's filter with the VPC first. So we are going to filter with the YT demo VPC. And you can see we only have the default security group. So we'll go to the right hand side and click on create security group. So when we click on create security group, we're going to get to this interface, and on this place we are going to put in the security group name, and the security group name will be YT demo ALB security group, and this is the security group for our application load balancer. And for the description, I'll just copy the security group name and paste it into the description, and we are going to choose our VPC, in which it is the YT demo VPC. And for the inbound route, as I explained earlier, it will be HTTP, and that will be from anywhere on the internet on IPv4. And the second inbound route will be HTTPS, which is this, and it will be from anywhere IPv4 from the internet. And we leave everything as default, and we'll scroll down and we'll click create security group. So we've created the security group for the application load balancer. Let me just copy this and put it in this name and save. So the next we're going to do is to create the application, the security group for the web server. Which is this. We just put YT demo web server SG. I'll copy the name and paste it in the description as well. I will select my VPC, which is YT demo VPC. For the inbound route, it is going to be HTTP, and it will come from the application load balancer security group, which is this. We are going to select this, and the HTTPS as well. This we're going to allow it from the application load balancer security group, which is this, and we'll leave everything as default. I will scroll down, we click on create security group. Since we've created the web server security group, just copy this again, come back here and paste it into it and save. So the last security group we are going to create is the SSH security group. So we'll go back, we'll click on create security group, we'll give it YT demo SSH SG. I'll copy the security group name and paste it into the description as well, and the VPC will be YT demo VPC, and we add the inbound role, and that will be SSH, which is this, and it is going to come from an IP. After doing this, we leave everything as default, we scroll down, and we create the security group. So that is all the security groups we need for our application. So I'll just copy this, copy and paste in there and save. Since we've created the security group, the next thing we are going to do is to create the IAM role that we're going to attach to our instance, so that the instance will be able to download our web files from the S3. And the IAM policy, the IAM role we are going to create is for S3 full access. So we'll go to the search panel and we'll put in IAM. It's going to load and bring IAM. We click on it. So we are on the IAM dashboard, and on the left hand side where we have the access management users group, we click on the rows, and for the rows we are going to create a row, which will be this. We are going to click on create row, and it will be allow AWS service like EC2 instance, Lambda, another factor to perform action in this account. That will be the trusted entity that we are going to create. We come to this place, we search for service or use case. We are going to select EC2 in EC2. We'll scroll down and we'll click on next. So this is where we are going to search for our permission policy, and we're going to type in the search panel, we're going to type in S3, and you can see we have S3 full access. We click on it, click on S3 full access, scroll down, and we go to next. So we are going to add this. We are going to call the name YT S3 access S3 row. Call it YT demo S3 row. So that's all we need to do for this. I would create row. So the role is being created, and if you scroll down, if you can't see it in this, just type in YT, and you can see we have the YT demo S3 row. So that is all for the IAM. So the next thing we are going to do is go to our dashboard and create our key pair. So we type into the search panel, we are going to type EC2 and we click on EC2. So we are on to the EC2 dashboard. On the left hand side, we scroll down and go to key pair. So I'm going to click on key pair. I'm going to click on key pair. So click on create key pair. In this case, I won't create a key pair because I already have a key pair on my system. I just want to show you how to create a key pair. So we are going to type in YT demo key pair. We are going to private key from our PEM because we are going to SSH from our terminal. If you are using Windows or Mac, you are going to select PEM. If you are using Windows 10, you are in the Windows 10 and 11, you are going to pick PEM, but you are using Windows 7, 8 or so, you are going to select PPK, in which you are going to use POTI to actually SSH into your system. But for my own case, I'm using Windows 11, so I will click on PEM, and in this place you click on create. But for this procedure, I won't click because I already have one on my system that we are going to use. So I'll go back. So the next thing we are going to do here is to create our S3 bucket and upload the web files. So I'll click on search for S3 in the search panel again. In the S3, I'll come here, click on S3. And here we are on the S3 dashboard. And let me see. Okay, I think I already have a YT demo S3 bucket, but we'll try and create another one for you so you can see. And we're going to create bucket. So we'll give it another name. So create bucket, that will be US6 Virginia US6 1A, and the name of the bucket will be YT demo S3 new bucket. We scroll down. We leave this as the default. We scroll down. Bucket version, and we click on disable. We scroll down, and for this we are going to disable bucket key. So that's the only thing we are going to do on this place. Click on create. So after creating the bucket, we scroll down, we search for it, which this is the new bucket we created. We are going to click on YT demo S3 new bucket. Click on it, and we are going to upload our web files into it. So we'll click on upload. We're going to add folder because we are going to add a zip folder into it. So we click on add folder. We go to the desktop, and we'll search for YT3, which is this. We are not uploading this, we are going to upload a zip folder. So let me just go to my we click on add files. We're going to go to this YT. So let's upload that one as well. YT. It will just take a little time. Click on YT, and it is this. Yeah, this is the one I want to upload, and click on upload. You can see it shows over bicycle web main.zip. So click on scroll down. I'll click on upload. So it's going to upload our first file, and it's going to take a little bit of time. So it's already uploading our files, and boom, our files has been uploaded. So since we've created our S3 bucket and uploaded our files, the next thing for us to do is to just create our setup server in the public subnet, do the installations, test it, and create the IAMI. So that will be the next thing we're going to do. So to create our setup server, we type it into the search panel again. We type in EC2. We click on EC2. And in the EC2 dashboard, we are going to click on instances. So when it loads completely, we are going to go to the right hand here and click on launch instance. So the name of our instance, will give it YT demo setup server. We scroll down. We are going to choose the Amazon Mansion image we are going to use, in which we are going to choose Ubuntu, and we are going to choose Ubuntu server, which is under the free tier eligible. Scroll down. We're going to take the T2 micro as well, which is under the free tier eligible. And for the key pair login, we are going to click on the key pair login I created, which was YT demo key. We scroll down. For the network set, we are going to select our VPC we created, in which YT demo VPC. For the subnet, we are going to have it in the subnet, public subnet AZ1, and we've selected the YT demo public subnet AZ1. Auto assign public IP, we leave it to enable, and we are going to select existing security group. So for the setup server, we're going to add we're going to add this YT demo, we're going to add this SSH, we're going to add the YT demo web server. The reason why we're adding the YT demo application load balancer is because we're going to test our application load balancer with this setup server, and we are going to use the YT demo SSH security to be actually SSH, which is going to allow us SSH into the setup server and do the installations. So that is why we are adding it. So we scroll down and we leave everything as default. I will scroll down, we'll go to the advanced in this place, and we'll come to this IAM instance profile. We click on it. We are going to select the S3 row we actually created earlier, which is going to allow our instance to download the web files from our S3 bucket. It's taking a little bit time to load. Not sure. And you can see it has finally loaded. So we are going to select the YT demo S3 row, and we create and launch our instance. So launching instance. So we click on successfully initiated launch of instance. I'm going to click on the ID. It's going to load. And we are going to wait for the instance to pass the status check, which will be 2 on 2. So I'll pause the video at this point, and when it is fully up and running, I'll resume. Now you can see our YT demo setup server has passed the status checks. So the next one I'm going to do is to click on this, because I'm going to SSH into this setup server. We click on connect. We'll come to SSH client. We are going to copy this. So after copying this, we'll go back to our instance, and we'll go to our search panel or on our desktop. And for my own case, I'm going to use PowerShell. So I'm going to use Windows PowerShell. And on my Windows PowerShell, I have my key pair in the download, so I'll need to change my directory to the download folder CD. So I'll type in the folder download, and I'll press tab. Not Docker projects, I'll be download. So I'll press enter. So after doing this, make sure you go into the directory where your key pair is downloaded, and after doing that, just paste in this command and press enter. You can see it's going to bring this, and when it shows are you sure you want to continue connecting, type in yes, and it's going to, and you can see we are into our EC2 instance, in which you can see it is Ubuntu IP, and this is the private IP of our instance. You can confirm in the dashboard by coming back and clicking on this. You can see it is 10.0.0.169, and if you go back to our terminal, you can see it is Ubuntu at IP 10.0.0.169. So after doing this, the next we're going to do is to start our installation. So let's clear this terminal first. Clear and press. So I already created the script we're going to use, but I will give a brief explanation as I'm doing it. So let me go back and go to my GitHub page. So type in GitHub, and I'm actually going to leave the script in the description of this video on YouTube, so don't worry. So I'll go back to my repo, and then okay, yeah, so I'm going to click on this YT tutorial, and inside it I already have the script which is in the readme here. So this is the script we are going to use. So we'll go back to our terminal. So this is everything we are going to do on our ECN2 machine. So I'll go back to the terminal. First, I'm going to check my directory to the root permissions. Also, I'll type in sudo su. So I'm already the root user. So the next thing I'm going to do is come back to the script. I'm going to update the package list by copying this command. I'm going to copy it and go back to my terminal and paste it in. So this one is going to update the Ubuntu instance. That's it. It's updating. It's updating all the packages. So when that is done, you can see that is the way. Let me clear it. Clear. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to install Apache. So we'll copy this. We'll go back to our terminal. I paste in. We are going to press enter. So it's going to install Apache. After that has been installed, I'm going to clear the terminal again. Clear. Go back to this. We are going to copy because we are going to install on zip as well. Go back, we paste in, press enter. So if you have any zip folder on our system, we'll be able to unzip it like that after downloading this. So let me clear the terminal again. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install AWS CLI as well, because that is how we are going to interact with our S3 bucket. So we are going to go back to the terminal. So installing the AWS CLI is going to allow us to interact with our S3 bucket and download the web files. So we press enter again. Type in yes. It's downloading. And as you can see, our AWS CLI is being downloaded, and our AWS CLI has been complete. And check the version by pressing AWS CLI dash. By pressing AWS CLI dash version. Sorry, that should be AWS. You can see we have the AWS CLI to be in the latest version. So after installing our AWS CLI, the next thing we are going to do is go back to our script, and what we are going to cd into the HTML var.var/www/html folder. So that is where you are going to host our web files. So let me go back to my terminal. I paste in the code, and when we press ls, it's going to show us a default index.html folder. So we are going to remove this rm-rf index. So after deleting that, the next thing we are going to do is go back to our script and copy this. So to get this particular script, you're just going to copy this, and I'll give the explanation. You go to your terminal, you paste it in. So the way you are going to get this S3 YT demo S3 bucket is go back to your AWS CLI, AWS console, press S3. So we're on the S3. So you find your S3 bucket, which is YT demo S3 bucket, YT demo S3 new bucket. This is the one we are using. So we are going to click on it. So we are going to copy this name and update it on our terminal. So we go back to this place. We are going to delete this. And we'll paste it in. And the reason why this CLI command is going to work is we already have our AWS CLI installed, and we already attached our IAM policy we created earlier. We've already attached it to this particular Ubuntu instance we are using for our installation. So after doing this, after updating the script, we press enter. And you can see our web files have been downloaded. We can check it by typing ls. And you can see we have Ovo Bicycle website main.zip. So the next thing we are going to do is to unzip this file. So let's unzip it. So we are going to go to our terminal and copy, which is unzip. I'm still going to modify this. Type in. So we are going to modify it to be Ovo is not capital letter. Ovo, and we press enter again. Oh, sorry, it should be, I will update the script dash main. Yes, it is Ovo Bicycle website main.zip here. So when we press ls, you can see this is the web file itself. So after doing that, we'll go back to our script. We are going to copy everything from the Ovo Bicycle and copy it into this. So we're going to update this as well. We'll paste it in, we'll type in. So we'll go back here. We're going to change it to Ovo. So let's just do this. Press Ctrl Shift V. So let's delete this. So doing that, so we are going to copy all the web files in the Ovo Bicycle website dash main into this place. So we press when we type in ls, we'll see that seems like okay. Okay, so sorry, I think there was some issues with my folder, so I already fixed it. So you can see we have the HTML folder. So inside this HTML folder, that is where we have our web files. So let us check ls HTML. You can see we have everything. So we are going to copy all these folders and we are going to copy it into this var www/html. So next one I'm going to do is go back to our script and copy this particular one I showed you that. So this is it. So we'll go back to the terminal and we'll paste it in again. So we'll type in ls. You can see all of our web files have been copied to this directory we are going to use to host our website. So after doing that, the next one I'm going to do is to delete all the unwanted files and zip files we have on this machine. So we are going to type in rm-rf. So let's copy it one by one. So this, we don't want this, Ctrl Shift V. We don't want this particular one as well. So we don't want this particular one as well. Type in Ctrl Shift V. we don't want this particular one as well, so we are going to delete this. So I think that's everything. So let's press enter. So type in ls, everything is gone, so we are left with the web files we need. So after doing that, the next we are going to do is go back to our script, and we are going to restart our Apache service. So we'll go back, copy this command, type it into the terminal, press enter, and we're going to start the Apache service. So copy this and paste it into the terminal again. Sorry. So press enter. So after doing this, I guess our web file should be available. So we'll go back to our AWS console, and we are going to copy the public IPv4 address of this instance and check if our website is already live. So go to our instance, running instance. We'll click on the YT demo setup server. We're going to copy this public IPv4 address. So we'll copy it, we paste it into our browser, press enter. And as you can see, our website is live, and you can see as I'm scrolling down, everything is working perfectly. So since we are sure our script is working and the website is live, so the next we are going to do is go back to our instance. We are going to create the AMI we are going to use in our auto scaling group. So we are going to go back to the instance. We are going to still down, go back to action, and go to image and templates. I'm going to create image. So I'm going to give our image a name. That will be ovo website. Let's give it like that, website v1. So let's copy the name and paste it there. So we'll leave everything as default. So we'll come there, we'll come here, and we're going to leave this one as well, which is tag image and snapshots together. So after doing that, we can give it a new name, which is, let's say, name, and we're going to give it the same name as well, which is over website v1. So we're going to create it. So after some time, it's going to take a while for our AMI to be created, so we can just check it in the AMI section, which is under images. We go to AMIs, and as you can see, we have the over website v1 is already been created. It's on the pending status. So when it is active, we're actually going to move on with the tutorial. So after some minutes, our Amazon machine image is now available. You can see the status is now available. So we can also check the snapshot as well. So we'll go to volumes, we go to snapshots, and as you can see, we have the snapshot to be completed. So after doing this, after completing all these parts, the next thing we're going to do is to create our application load balancer. So we'll scroll down on this page, so we'll go to load balancer. The first one we're going to create will be our target group. So let's create the target group. So on the right hand side, you're going to see create target group. We'll click on create target group. So choose a target type. We're going to use instance. So we're using instance. So we scroll down. We're going to give it a name. So we're going to give it YT demo TG. Let's give it like that. So we're going to leave it on port HTTP. We're going to select the VPC, which will be YT demo VPC. So we'll leave everything like that. We leave the status check like that. We scroll down and we are going to create the target group. So next, so you can see, so we are not using this because we already created an image of it. So we are going to go, we are supposed to test this application load balancer. Because of time, I don't want this video to be extremely long, so we are just going to leave it like that and go down and create target group. Our target group has been created. So the next thing we're going to do is go back to our load balancer and create a load balancer. So click on the load balancer over here, and it's going to take you to the dashboard of load balancer. So we click on create load balancer, and on the load balancer type, we are going to use application load balancer. So we scroll down, we are going to click on create. So the basic, we start with the basic configuration, which is the name of our application load balancer, which will be like YT demo ALB. So it will be, the scheme will be internet facing, and we are going to leave it on IPv4, which is the IP address type. So we'll go down, we are going to map it to our VPC network mapping, which will be our VPC. We are going to choose our YT demo VPC. We are going to map it to US East 1A, and don't forget that in the US East 1A, it is going to be in the YT public subnet AZ1. So we are going to choose YT demo public subnet AZ1. So we are going to choose YT public subnet 82. So this one is complete. So we go to the security, we are going to detach this. We're going to add our YT demo ALB security group, which is this. So after doing that, we scroll down, we are going to select the target group in this, which is YT demo target group. Since everything is complete in this sense, we scroll down, and we are going to enable AWS application firewall in this space. So go, and we're going to leave it to the default without touching anything. So we're going to scroll down, we're going to go scroll down, we're going to create load balancer. So it's going to take a while for our load balancer to be up. So it's already on the provisioning state. So after doing that, the next thing we are going to do now is, so we leave this to be creating. So as you can see, this may take 2 to 3 minutes. So if you navigate from your load balancer console, close the browser tab while it's in progress. So we can leave this to be creating. So after this, next we are going to do is we're going to create a certificate for our load balancer. So let's go to certificate manager. So we're going to come to this space because we're going to need SSL security on our load balancer. We're going to create a certificates manager. So we are going to request a new one, and I'm going to use the domain name I purchased on my AWS account, which will be the name, my name. So we're going to scroll down, we're going to put in the domain I already have on my AWS account. So if you already purchased the domain name, so you can just put in it into the space as well. So to be, the name of my domain will be below afeez.com. So we're going to request, which will be, we're going to add another word card, so which will be start.below afeez.com. So after doing this, we are going to use the validation method to be DNS, or we're going to leave everything as default. So after doing that, we'll scroll down, we're going to click on the request. So you can see it said our certificate is being requested. So let's view it, and you can see it's independent. So we are going to wait for it to be in the complete state. So after then, we'll proceed with the tutorial again. As you can see, so the next we are going to do is to validate it in our, so we're going to create a DNS record in Amazon to validate our certificate. So we're going to click on create, and you can see it has already been created. So let me try and reload my page. It should show completed. So it's going to take another few minutes again. So since we've requested for a certificate, the next thing we're going to do is go back to the application load balancer and update our load balancer to actually allow HTTPS traffic. So let's go back. So we type in EC2 and our load balance should be up and running now. You can see we already have one load balancer. So let's click on it. You can see the application load balancer is now active. So I will click on it. So I will modify the listener and rules. So I'm going to add the HTTPS listener on it. So I'll come to this. I'm going to the HTTPS 443 and forward to target group. So I'll choose the target group, which is YTDemoTG, and after doing that, I'll do this one as default, and default will be from certificate source will be from ACM. So I'll come here and click belowafish.com, and after doing that, I'll click on add. You can see, so we'll now modify the HTTP to redirect our traffic coming from HTTP, which is on port 80, to 443. So let's click on it. Let's come to actions, edit listener, and I will leave it there. So it will be redirect to URL, and it will be HTTPS, and which will be, we're going to type in 443. So we scroll down, we'll leave everything as default. We're going to save changes. So after saving the changes, the next we are going to do now is let's check if it's everything is now okay. Our certificate should be up and running. Yeah, you can see it has showed issued. So after doing that, and the application load balancer is active and everything is perfect, so the next we are going to do is check it with our setup survey again to see if everything is working perfectly. So let's do that now. So we just go back to our target groups. We click on target groups, we click on this, we're going to go to targets, we're going to register a target, so which is this. So we're going to click on it, we are going to include as pending. So we're going to say register pending target. So it is initializing. So now that the status check shows active, then we are going to check our load balancer if it's working perfectly. Then after making sure that our load balancer is working perfectly, then we are going to create a record set in our DNS and check with our domain name to see if everything is working perfectly, and after then we'll go on with the tutorial again. So let me reload my page. My load this page is loading. It's taking, so let me click on it again. Target group, you can see it's already showed, it shows LT. So I'll go back to my load balancer. So I'll copy the, you can see in this place, I'll copy the DNS name of the load balancer, which is this. Now I'll go to my browser and paste it in. You can see it's showing not secured, and you can see YT demo ALB US East 1 blah 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 blah. You can see our website is still running with the setup server. So after doing that, the next we are going to do is go back to our AWS console and create a record set in our DNS. So I'll type in route 53, route 53. So on the Route 53 dashboard, I'll click on hosted zone, because this is where we have our domain name. So I'll click on hosted zone. And in this, I'll click on my domain name, and you can see this is the certificate we created. It's already mapped into our domain name. If you remember earlier that we verified with our DNS. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a record set again. So we're going to create a record set. So in this case, we are creating a record set for our application load balancer. So it will be, we are going to add www to this. We're going to click on alias. So we are going to come to this. We are going to alias to application and classic load balancer. We'll click on it. We are going to choose the region, which is, we check the region, we are using US East 1. So I will come to this place. We'll scroll down because that is where our resources are. So I will just search for US East 1A, US East, let me see. Okay, so US East, this is this. So I'll click on it and I will check for, and you can see this is the application load balancer we created earlier. So I'll click on it. We'll leave everything as default, simple routing and all. So we create record, and you can see this is already created. So if we copy the record name over here and paste it into our browser, we should be able to access our website. And as you can see now, we're able to access our website using the DNS name, and you can see it's secured, which is on HTTPS. Since we confirmed that everything is perfectly working, the next thing now we are going to do is to go to our AWS dashboard, and we are going to create the auto scaling group. So we'll go back to EC2, so let's just terminate the setup server since everything is working perfectly now. So let's come here. So let's do that first. It's loading, so we'll wait a little bit for the instance to come up, and we're going to terminate it. Terminate instance, terminate. So it's of no use for us again since we've created an Amazon image for it. So we just scroll down. So the first one we're going to do is to create our launch template. So we click on launch template. So for the launch template, we click on create launch template. We give our launch template YT demo LT. We just copy the name and put it as our description. Copy, paste, and we are going to auto scaling guidance. We are going to mark it. So in the application OS and images, we are going to come to our my AMIs, because don't forget we already created an Amazon image which is Ovo website v1. So for the instance type, we're going to choose T2 micro, which is on the free tier eligible. We scroll down. For the key pair login, we don't need the key pair because we're not going to SSH into it. So for the network setting, we're going to come to the security group. So we're going to select our security group, which is going to be YT demo web server SG. So after doing that, we'll scroll down. We'll leave the resources as that. We'll click on create launch template. So as our launch template is being created, we'll go back to this, our console, and we'll go to the auto scaling groups. So we'll click on auto scaling groups. So we're on the dashboard of our Amazon EC2 auto scaling. So we're going to click on create auto scaling group. So we're going to give it a name, which will be YT demo ASG. So we are supposed to select our launch template we created, which is YT demo LT. We leave it as latest in case. So everything is perfect like this. So we'll click on next. So for the instance type, it has already mapped it with our instance type, which is T2 micro. The network will be YT demo, and the availability zones will be in our private subnet AZ1 and private subnet AZ2, which will be demo YT demo private subnet AZ1 and demo private subnet AZ2. So we go to the next load balancer. We are going to attach an existing load balancer we created, which is this. So after doing that, we'll leave everything as default as well. Okay, in this place we are going to turn on elastic load balancing check. We can decide to enable group metrics collection with CloudWatch. So we just leave everything like this. So after doing that, so our desired capacity will be 2, which is we want our instance to be 2 at any point in time. So we're going to press in 2. And for our scaling policy, the minimum desired will be 1 and the highest will be 4. So for the scale automatic scaling, we are going to click on target tracking scaling policy. So for the target tracking policy, it is going to be average CPU utilization. We're going to leave it to 50. I'm going to put in 300 seconds. So we leave everything as default. No policy, we're going to leave it as default as well. So if you want to play with it, you can play with the replacement behavior. So we can play with it, so but just leave it as mixed behavior. So we'll go to next, and we're going to add our notification, which is our SNS topic. I already created one. So if you want me to show you how to create one, you can drop it in the comment below and I will do that in the next video. So we're going to do that, and we're going to click on next. So we're going to add a tag name to it, which will be name. We're going to put in YT server YT demo server ASG. So that will be the name tag of the instances. So I'm going to click on next, and it's going to show you this review page where you can check if every settings you added to it is okay. And after doing that, we'll go on and we are going to scroll down and create auto scaling group. So you can see it's already in the updating capacity status. So when it is fully active and when our auto scaling group instances are active, I will show you and we can actually continue with the rest of the tutorial. So let me pause at this point. So with this, our auto scaling group is now active. So let's go to our instances and check if our instances are running. So we'll go back to instances, and you can see we have the, let me filter with the running one. You can see we have the YT demo server ASG and YT demo server ASG, which is the desired capacity we actually stated in auto scaling. We can see we have this. So when we go back to our browser and type in the name of the domain of our website, it should bring this website up again. So let's go to this. We're going to type in below. So you can see our website is up and running and everything has been deployed successfully. You can see. So with this, we have come to the end of the tutorial, and if you have any question, you can drop into the comment section below. I will try my best to actually answer the questions. And this is how you deploy a highly available two-tier website on AWS. And if you are new to my channel, you can actually give me a thumbs up to actually encourage me to create more videos like this. And thank you and have a good time. Bye.